This episode of the podcast is brought to you by Keep Food Simple. Do you have a busy, hectic lifestyle? Always on the go, too busy to cook, and find yourself eating way too much fast food? Keep Food Simple is a Southern California based food prep service that offers customized meals for all types. Whether you're a vegan, plant based, whole food, paleo, gluten free, keto, whatever it may be, Keep Food Simple has got you covered. It's time to take control of your health, boost your overall energy, and feel great about how you eat. Keep Food Simple offers delivery services in LA, San Bernardino, Orange County, and Riverside County. Orders can be placed at keepfoodsimpleprep.com. That's keepfoodsimpleprep.com. Use promo code ERB20 for 20% off your first week of meals. All right, guys, let's get into this podcast. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave me a comment, let me know how I'm doing, what more you'd like to hear about. Also, this whole herb session thing can be found on just about any platform now. It's on iTunes, as well as you Android users. It's going to be on SoundCloud. Everything will be linked in the video description. Thanks for listening. Appreciate all the support. Enjoy. All right, and we're back. It's been a hot minute, but I got one of my favorite people here, Harun. Say hello. You're on the air, Slit God.
You got Haroon on the air.
What's up, man? How you been, dude?
Oh, I've been good.
You been good?
I've been good. You know,
Nice.
this past year has been something else, though, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where are you at now with school and everything?
I've got
Make sure you talk right into that bad boy.
yeah, I'm almost done with my bachelor's degree. Graduating this fall and finishing up med school applications right now, so about to submit them. So
Ooh,
yes, indeed.
good for you, man. You still going for cardiologist, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, for those who haven't listened to Haroon's first time he was on here, you were actually the first person to come on and do it like live recording
Oh yeah.
video. So it'd be only right to have you back. You know,
sure.
with the new studio and everything. You know,
For sure.
Yeah. I had to have you come back, dude. And you're just like one of my favorite people to talk to, man. You're so positive.
Thanks, my
And
guy.
you're just always smiling. You make me smile, dude. That's a good thing. That's a
Not
good thing.
even.
But that's cool. What schools are you looking at for med?
So the main one I'm looking at right now is the U.
Okay.
Just because I really don't want to move again. Plus, I've been here long enough to not want to have to like resettle anywhere else.
I feel you.
But I'm looking at UW and a couple of schools in California as well. So
Ooh, which schools in Cali? I'll
um,
tell you if you should go there or not.
there was there was this one. It didn't have like a big name. Why don't I remember it?
No, it wouldn't be San Jose.
It wasn't San Jose. It was.
Was it more up north? That's usually where they all are. SoCal, I think the only one you can really look at would be Loma Linda. Would be the big one down there.
That sounds. I think I've looked at that one, but I haven't
Yeah. There might be one in San Diego.
applied. It's in San Diego.
Oh,
if I
okay.
remember correctly.
Maybe
Yeah.
San Diego State.
Was it San Diego's? Nah. I
I
feel
don't know.
I feel like it had a smaller name, like something you wouldn't recognize, but it's a pretty like big med school.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know the med schools down there. I only know really, to be honest, I'm a liar. I only know Loma Linda, to be honest with you,
Yeah.
because that's where I went. Other than that, I don't really know. Besides, like, what's the one in San Francisco? It's a big university. It is escaping me. I forget the name. Is it Stanford? I think it's Stanford.
Stanford is in San Francisco.
I believe so.
Oh,
I
more
could
you
be
know.
wrong. But yeah, I think Stanford would be the next big one. I don't don't know where Duke is. Is Duke
Duke is in North Carolina.
okay?
Yeah.
Would you look into Georgetown?
No. Should I?
That's a good one.
Yeah.
You'll go broke, but it's a good school.
I'm gonna go broke either
Yeah,
way.
yeah. Dude, I didn't even go to. I went to a medical school, and I'm still broke.
Oh, that's funny.
I was telling all my friends and family, like, I went to school for a long, long, long time, and my school debt makes more money than I do. It's insane, bro. I'll never pay that shit off.
Oh my goodness. My roommate from my first year, he started his first year, or his first semester of med school last fall, and he showed me his like tuition bill and everything, and I'm like, "Jeez, Louise."
What's he looking at monthly? Or do they do it quarterly? How do they do it with med school?
I don't remember. All I remember is seeing like $60-something thousand for like the for that semester or something like
Just
that.
for the semester?
If I remember correctly. I'm like, nah, you gotta be kidding me.
How much do you think total when you're all said and done? What do you think you're gonna come out with? I know it's in the 100,000s. 300?
Because I can't work during that time.
No, absolutely not.
So I'd have to like take out a loan for like housing, food, and other things as well. So I'd say like at the very least like 400.
Oh,
Yeah.
$500,000, huh?
Yeah. But I have heard of like some states having they like have you work for a certain amount of years, like 1 or 2 years or so, and like your school debt is like completely forgiven after those like first 2 years or so.
Yeah.
But some of those states that I've looked at are like not so appealing to me to like go to.
I feel if you invest all that time, I think with any education, I feel if you go to school and you pass, I don't think you should have to pay.
Exactly. Exactly. Oh
If they want the United States to be like the be all and stop having all their smart people leave, make that the incentive.
it's crazy also because it's also like another thing that like weighs people down while they're in school because they're like thinking about all this money that's going into it. So
Dude, school loan is the worst debt to have.
It is.
Because you can't get away from it. Say you go through all that schooling and you're about, I don't know, a quarter or 3/4 of the way, and your last semester you're like, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore. You still have to pay for all that education. And then whatever new route you go, you got to pay for that.
I could not imagine, especially like if I'm in like I got like one more year of med school.
It happens though.
Yeah, I've heard it happen. I'm like, how do you even? Because obviously, if you're not going to like, if you're not going to love what you're going to do in the medical field, right then and there, you should stop. But.
Mm-hmm.
But like just to think about like the negative impacts it has on you. Oh my goodness gracious.
Yeah. And then some people go to another country just to escape their school loans. But they can't come back.
Funniest thing about that, I saw this clip about how you like see like people like just having the like supercars in out in Saudi Arabia.
Oh, are you talking like Dubai and all that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So people apparently like take out like massive loans in those areas and are able to then like afford these supercars and these like super wealthy things for the wealthy, and it is. It's basically like illegal. I don't know what the term is, but there's like you get placed in jail if you don't pay your bills on time. So when people enter like Dubai from other cities or like enter Saudi Arabia from other cities,
Mm-hmm.
um, So they like see abandoned like supercars on the side of the road because people are like trying to escape, trying to pay
Wow.
their bills. Because
Dude, I did not know that was a
if
thing.
they were to get if people if like the whoever they took the loan out from were to find out that they weren't paying their bills on time, they'd get placed in jail. So they're
Whoa.
like, not dealing with this, gotta dip. So they just like
Here you
completely
go.
yeah, they start driving out of the city, then they just abandon the car out in the middle of the road, and then they walk the rest of the way out of the city. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen or heard.
Dude, how? That sucks.
Yeah.
Don't take out a car you can't. Like, don't buy dumb shit. Like, I buy a lot of dumb shit, but I also go, all right, this isn't thousands of dollars at once.
Yeah.
Of things I can't afford. But dude, to take out a race car like that, or a high end vehicle, and then dump it in the desert. Like, come on. Go to one of the speedways and just, race it so you can have yeah, I've
Exactly.
driven one of those cars. Like, at the end of the day, nobody cares what you drive.
I think it's
You know?
because of it's like it's Dubai. So it's like
That's a rich
yeah
area, man. I don't
so
think
it's like
poorness is even a vocabulary over there,
not in Dubai.
But
Oh,
those dudes, like, you got to deal with high end people at the same time.
yeah.
And there's some needy folks, dude. Like, you know how homeless are very needy?
Yeah.
Like, they have a reason to be, like, needy.
Yeah.
They want all your stuff, but also they don't want to work.
Yeah.
It's silly, but I get it. I get it. But then you have these rich people who have everything, and they're even worse, Because they want everything right then and there, now, no excuses. I'm paying all this money. It's a real, both ends of the spectrum is bad.
Oh yeah.
It's
Oh.
really weird. That's why I like the people like in between, or the people who are humbled on top. Even the homeless people, there's some humble people.
So an example of that.
It's just interesting.
An example of that for me was I was back at the hospital. I don't know if I told this story on here before, but back at the hospital there was this guy that I was like picking up after he's gotten scanned, and as soon as he's finished, I like brought his wheelchair over and I sat him down, and like his foot pedals were like in, but I didn't notice that his feet were burned. So, so he started just like coming at me. He's like, "Why would you do this? Don't you see what has happened to my leg?" La 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 la.
Yeah.
And I just like apologized, and I'm like, I apologize for that. I'll take these out of your way. So I just like pushed them to the side. So then we started getting into the elevator, and I was backing into the elevator, but because the pedals were like pushed to the side, the wheelchair is a bit wider, so
Yeah.
like it was more likely to bump onto the one of the sides of the elevators. So that's what happened. It just like barely bumped into one of the sides of the elevators, and he started like coming at me again, and he's like, "Oh, are you not competent enough to push a wheelchair?"
my God,
And I'm
dude.
just
You know what you should have did is just push them, let them go into the elevator, and then just see
Jesus, take the wheel. But yeah,
enjoy being an asshole.
yeah. So it was like then we got into his room, and I got him into his room, and I asked him if he wanted to get on his bed or the couch. He's like, "Why would I ever want to get into my bed right now? I want to sit up." So I'm like, "Yeah, you know what? Say less. I'll just push you over to your couch." So I pushed him over to his couch, and I asked him if he wanted a hand. He's like, "Do not touch me. Just give me that walker over there." So I'm like, "Oh yeah, sorry about that, sir." I bring the walker over to him, and he sits on the couch. He's like, "Wow, everyone here is like super incompetent. I don't trust anyone here. You know what? I am going to call my lawyer and have them sue this hospital because nobody knows how to do their job apparently around here." And I'm like, "Well, I appreciate the honesty, and I wish you the best, speedy recovery, and a great rest of your day." So then I left, and as soon as I like closed the door, his nurse was standing outside, and he had this look in his eye, like, I know exactly what you were going through, because I was about to like just
Oh, yeah.
slightly mention it, and I didn't have to say a word. He's like, "Yeah, it's been like this."
Yeah, there's some bitter. There's just some bitter folks out there, man.
Yeah.
I
And
mean, if my feet were burnt too, I'd be like, ah, dude, this
yeah.
sucks.
Yeah.
But I also wouldn't be rude to the help, you know? It's not like you woke up and you're like, you know what? I hope there's a guy with burnt feet.
Yeah.
And I could just ruin his day. You know? But I think people forget when they're in a lot of pain like that, they forget, like, hey, man.
Oh yeah. Oh
Like,
yeah.
we don't wake up to ruin your day or anything.
Yeah.
You know? But,
Because I remember like having a patient that was like, he was like, he sort of said things out loud, but then he'd like apologize right after. He's like, oh, I'm sorry, I don't really mean it. It's just like this pain is unbearable. So I'm like, oh, I completely understand. If you have to like, if you need to get something out, just get it out of your chest.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's tough, man. When you're in a lot of pain, like, you can't think straight.
Yeah.
It's just, it sucks.
Yeah.
I'm in a lot of pain, like, all the time. But I also remember, like, dude, this is not anybody else's, like, burden.
Yeah.
It's kind of something you got to work through.
Yeah.
But, damn, man. So where you working now, dude? I know I kind of followed you after you quit up there, and then
So I work up.
what are you doing now?
I work up at ARUP Laboratories.
What do you do there?
So I work in the research area of our ARUP. So what I mostly do is like help set up and like break down everything that like they test for that like area.
What are they testing exactly? What do you guys like samples of stuff?
Oh yeah, like so they've got like whole blood. Sometimes they've got plasmas and just other specimens. I'm not sure if I'm like if they said if I'm allowed to say like exactly.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
so
So it's a research lab?
Yeah.
Is that right?
yeah, well, yeah. So most you know how like they patients like just get blood drawn up and such. So most of it is just like people needing things tested, but they do have like a research area of that place.
Interesting.
Yeah,
You like it?
yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you have to wear like a full on like biohazard suit and
nah, just a lab coat,
lab coat?
like a protective shield,
Uh-huh.
and
You work under the hood. You know what the hood is?
oh yeah, yeah,
That vacuum
yeah,
thing where you have to work under it.
yeah.
and- yeah, I used to do all that stuff.
I think the first time I like worked under a hood was back in like my chemistry lab.
Mm-hmm.
Those
Yeah,
are fun
basic
days.
chem. You would do. I think we made aspirin. So they.
Oh, that's dope. We never did that.
No.
Nah, I don't know. We never like made anything interesting. We just like sort of just
Oh.
went down the list. Of
You know,
breaking down
aspirin
things.
is a super good drug, but the problem with aspirin that we have, there's so much like binding agents in it. It doesn't really do what it's supposed to do.
Oh, really?
If you get like the pure form, because you had to have some sort of binding agent in aspirin to
Yeah.
make it into that little tablet that we all get. And we only used one binding for it. And then the rest was like super, super strong. We
Yeah.
obviously weren't allowed to take it, but
Yeah.
but I heard this later somewhere else. I could have this totally wrong, but it kind of makes sense with a lot of medications that are out there. If you just give us the form that it's supposed to be in, and not have all these like binding and there's like high fructose corn syrup and everything. It's like just give us what we need, and you know you can get people won't like be addicted to like opiates and
Yeah.
all that because aspirin's a really good powerful drug.
Yeah.
Like it's a really good underappreciated drug, but there's a bunch of bullshit in it.
Whenever I like,
Mhm.
so the only pills I ever take on purpose is probably aspirin or like ibuprofen, whatever. But and that's only like on the third day that I've had this like major headache and it's still not going away. So I'm like, you know what? Yeah, maybe I'll like take a couple at this moment. But other than that, I don't like taking like pain pills at all. When I got my wisdom teeth taken out, they gave me hydrocodone, and I took the only time I took it was when I got back. So I got it the one day, and then I left like the day after to get back to Salt Lake because I had classes and such. Because I was in Boise at the time.
Mm.
I got my wisdom teeth taken out, so I came back to Salt Lake the next day, and I was feeling it a little bit. So I'm like, let me just take one of these,
Yeah.
and I was not feeling it in class.
And then
I
you're
went
like,
to class.
oh,
Yeah,
I don't feel anything.
I went to class right after. I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna pay attention to any of this.
Yeah, just
So
sitting there just high. Oh,
yeah,
man.
so like afterwards, I just like I put them away. I'm like, you know what? I think I could like go through with this without any
Yeah.
disruption.
I get it, but also don't forget that stuff has value.
Yeah.
When used correctly, like follow the instructions on
Yeah.
the bottle. Trust me, no one does.
Yeah.
They've given me stuff for when I've had stuff going on. Of
Yeah.
course I didn't follow it.
Yeah.
Take one every 4 hours? Yeah, I'm gonna take two. 'Cause this shit hurts.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I think the problem is once you're out, you have to accept the fact that okay, I'm out.
Yeah.
And problem with that drug is it makes you feel so good that you just keep going. Why do you think it's a problem? You know?
I think for me, mostly why like I don't take any like hard type of drugs is because like I like to be like in control of myself.
Yeah.
And then like at that moment I was like, yeah, this is not for Haroon.
Yeah. Yeah, some people like to go the other way with it. I don't want to be in control.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to think. And yeah, it's tough. Like I was talking about this at work because I mean, we have people come in with, you know, doing weird things just to get their opiate fix. And the doctor's like, I was like, what do you think about just like decriminalizing that? He's like, I think it's decriminalizing is fine. Like people shouldn't go to jail because they got like a little gram of weed on them or even cocaine or whatever. Because, you know, you're putting people in the jail system for petty shit.
Like for years.
Years,
also.
dude.
Oh
And tax,
goodness.
all the tax money in the private sector. It's awful. But the point I did like that he made is like, I don't mind the decriminalizing, but I don't think we should make everything legal.
Yeah.
Like the legal part is what he's against. I'm kind of with him on that, but also I'm also kind of like sometimes I don't want to go through all this to go through a doctor if I need something a little bit stronger to take the pain off. I'm not saying I'm drug seeking or anything like that, but I'm a grown ass adult. Like, who's another adult to tell me like, hey, you know what? I don't really think so because I think you're a drug seeker. And it's like, well, no, I'm not. It's no different than me going to the store and getting like high doses of ibuprofen.
Yeah.
Like I'm capable of that, but now you're telling me I'm not capable of this. I think it would cut down on a lot of like the illegal bullshit if they just sooner or later you're gonna have to let people just have at it.
Yeah. I think that
You
they've
know?
like started doing it up in Oregon, wasn't it?
Yeah, Oregon is
Like
pushing
every type of drug is like
I think every drug is decriminalized, but I don't think everything is legal. I think the only place that's like that is somewhere in Europe.
So what's the difference between the two? Would they just like not put you in jail if they like found
Yeah,
you?
that's a good question. Maybe I don't even know what I'm talking about. Well, decriminalized meaning like you're not gonna go to jail for having it on you when you don't have like say a written prescription bottle with your name on it. I think that's what they're talking about. The legal part is like some of these drugs are illegal to purchase on the street. I don't know. That's a good one. I don't even know what I'm talking about. I'm dumb.
Well, not even. It is
I
like
think they
a
kind
pretty
of
tough question.
coincide with each other. Like, I don't know.
It would. I feel like it'd be like they'd give you like more warnings than like immediate immediately being locked up or something like that.
Yeah.
For it. Maybe it's like more citations or like fines you have to pay rather than getting locked up.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I think they should just let it all go, in
Yeah.
my opinion, just because people are doing it anyway, and they're gonna do it whether it's legal or not legal or decriminalized or not. Just
You know what I've noticed though
so
is
what?
that they like, so the U.S. has this thing when like they would um, say something is illegal for some time, but then as soon as like they see that profits can come from it, they're like, nah, I think we good on it.
Yeah,
So then the people that have been locked up are just sitting in there in prison for like those small things, sitting there in prison like, huh, ain't this a bitch?
ain't this a bitch? That just goes to show you the United States government can do whatever they want, whenever they want. They have the power of. It is insane how much power they have
Oh,
to tell us that a plant's illegal, to tell us what we can and cannot, ingest.
so
It's gnarly.
whenever I think about this though, it's always I always like come back. Have you seen that show on Netflix, When They See Us?
No.
Oh, so I've read the story, like the true story behind it. It was about like, what was it? These kids that were like wrongfully accused of, was it? I think it was like, I don't want to get it wrong, but they were wrongfully accused of doing something by an individual at Central Park in New York.
Mm-hmm.
And they were sent to prison for a significant amount of time. And I don't know when they were let out, but I didn't watch the show, but I read it, and I'm like, I don't want to watch this at all. Because I'm like, if I were to watch this, it would be a traumatic experience within itself. Because I'm like, damn, that could have been me.
That could have been a lot of us
Yeah.
growing up. Teenagers, like I did so much dumb shit as a teenager, and that's when like majority of people do experiment with everything. I mean, what do you expect people to do? People were curious, especially like young folks.
Yeah, they were young. They were young,
super
also,
curious,
and I'm like, damn, they got sent to prison for nothing.
I know, dude.
Like, damn.
There's people in prison for some dumb shit. You're like, what? You got 20 years for what? Like, I think tax evasion. Like, why are people going to prison for tax evasion? Like, just make them pay it back.
They don't have payment plans for it?
Yeah. Dude, the little folks like you and I, if we do, they're going to get their money from us, And Grandpa Trump is getting away with all kinds of neat stuff.
Yo, that whole presidency was just the funniest thing to me. Just because,
Wasn't it?
just mostly because it was like he was doing illegal things every day.
Dude, he was such a bully right to people's faces.
Oh my goodness! And I felt like he normalized it. Like, like
it's weird.
People were like numb to it. They're like, nah, it's just him doing it.
Yeah, well, that's just him. It's like, no, that's not how you behave.
Oh,
and they let it go, dude. They let it go
gracious.
for 4 years of just absurd.
Bruh. And people were still strong about him even after seeing all the things
It's still
he
strong
did.
now, dude.
Oh my goodness gracious. That was just funny. Oh, so
I don't get it, like how that guy is so popular for being such an asshole. I watched a documentary on him. It's like Donald Trump is not a racist. He's an asshole to everybody. Like everybody's calling him a racist, and like he only dude, he was a dick to everybody, whether you're black, white, Asian.
was he like that on that one show he had? Or was it Something's Apprentice or
Apprentice?
something?
But he's also fucking racist. Let's be real. Let's not be around the bush. That fool was calling the China virus, dude. Like, come on, man, dude. Look what he did to the Asian America. That's all his fault.
He did it consistently, and people with brains knocked him down for it, and then other people were like, "Nah, it really is the China virus." I'm like, "Are you dumb?"
I know. It's like, huh?
Oh yeah, he has room for improvement.
Dude, you
very
think?
at the very
He's
least.
thinking about start. At one point, he was talking about starting his own party. He wanted to get away. He wanted the Donald Trump party, and people were going for it. It's weird. I think it's just people are just they believe like America is built by like white people and white people only. It's like I was talking. I don't know who I was talking this with. But I was like, I think it was on the last podcast. The United States is probably one of the few countries, if not the only, that does not have a set thing that defines. Oh, that's an American.
Yeah,
You know what
but
I mean?
even then,
So just follow me on this one.
yeah,
Like when you go to Russia, like, oh, those are Russians.
yeah,
When you go to China, oh, those are Chinese
yeah,
folks. Those are like they have a distinct like look. Whereas you come to America, it's like
all over the place.
everybody's
Yeah.
like this is a melting pot of everything.
Yeah,
It's really a unique place to live. And I think that's why everyone hates it so much. It's like, oh, they get to have this and they have all that. And we kind of have all the same shit we've always had
Yeah.
and the same people, same, It's interesting.
I think
That's just my take.
so like adding on to that, it's like even though it doesn't have like a set thing, it's like the like Christianity is like the thing to go
Oh,
for,
man,
and
yeah.
then the like white people are like the people to go for, and it's
Yeah.
like it is just the funny. And English, we don't have like a set language here in the U.S.
Yeah.
And
I think
English,
people, at one point, German was going to be our
main language.
main language. Believe it or not. And I forgot why it didn't take over. Like, the United States loves Germany. Like, it was a weird love-hate relationship with them during the wars. Like, if we were going to speak German, it was going to be German. But yeah, we've never, ever come out and say, this is our
Yeah,
set language for the United States. We kind of just adopted
Yeah.
English and made it our own way, but we've never, yeah.
and so whenever
It's
I like
very interesting.
So from that, whenever I like hear someone in the store, because like there would have been times when I was younger when my parents and I would be grocery shopping. It was mostly like me and my mom because my dad didn't like to go shopping at all. He's like, nah, I'm good.
He just didn't like going around a bunch of people. Or just don't like grocery stores.
He just like, so when this is his thing, when like whenever my mom wanted to like go somewhere, he wanted it just to be like, oh, she's gonna go there for like these specific things, but she always like goes off the trail and then goes for like things just get extended for a lot longer than he expects. So
Oh, okay.
he's like,
So he likes to get in, get out.
yeah, get in,
Got
get
it,
out, yeah.
Gotcha.
And
Like
and
most
it's,
dudes.
it's never that situation, bro. It's never that situation. So I never like noticed it until I was older, because I thought when I was younger I was like, yeah, I'm just like straggling along, just following them around. And once I got older, and I'd go, it would just like be me and my mom going to get some groceries. She would like tell me, "Hey, we're just gonna go pick up this like one little thing," and then as soon as we're done, she's like, "Nah, we need to go back." Buy the whole store at that point. I'm like, nah. But yeah, whenever we were like grocery shopping, my parents and I would always like speak our main language around each other.
What's the language again?
Kizigua.
Kizigua.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. So
That's cool.
we'd always like speak that language, or like Arabic, or some other language.
Oh, that's
that we
right. You know 7 languages?
Yeah. Yeah.
Damn, son.
Yeah. Yeah. So we
You don't need to be a doctor. Dude. You need to be a fucking spy, bro. I was looking on D.com. The FBI is hiring, bro. You need to get in there.
Yo, for a time,
Fuck being a doctor.
for a time, I actually thought my dad was a spy.
Maybe,
when I
bro,
was younger,
maybe.
because like people, he didn't go out much at all. He never actually left the state of Idaho since we came to the U.S. until he brought me here
Why
for
is that? He just
orientation.
like scared to kind of wander out?
He was just more of a homebody more
Fair
than
enough.
anything.
Fair
Yeah.
enough.
So like every vacation he took, he was like stay at home vacation. So
You gotta admire that.
Yeah, for sure.
You know,
For sure.
because there's some people who cannot wait to get out of the country and this
Yeah.
and that. But I was like, dude, the people that just like being at home, what a beautiful thing, man.
Weird thing
So
is, though,
content.
the weird
You
thing
know?
is that, like, as soon as, like, after he brought me here, he started, like, traveling a bit more. He's like, oh, this
yeah.
isn't too bad. So then,
He's getting
like,
assignments, huh?
yeah, then, like, in 2019, he went back to Africa with my little sister. He invited me, but I didn't have the time because he was gonna be there for 3 months, and I'm like,
Damn, 3 months.
yeah,
Dude,
that would have been
what's
fun.
Africa like?
It depends on where you go.
What is Nigeria pretty bad? I have a friend from Nigeria, and it's kind of he tells me like it's a hit or miss.
I hear
But I
there's
always
going
hear
to be
bad stuff.
I hear there's going to be a civil war soon.
I feel like they're always over there having a civil war.
In Nigeria, because there was an Uber driver or Lyft driver from like a couple months ago that was from Nigeria. She's like, I don't like how my country is turning out right now.
Yeah.
Here, there's going to be a civil war soon. I'm like, because I was like, yeah, I'm not really like surprised that like certain areas of Africa just having like tension, like Somalia, which is where my my parents are from. So my grandpa from my dad's side still lives in Somalia. People have tried to like get him to move out of there. Like my dad's brother lives in either Kenya or Tanzania. I keep forgetting, but like both of those places are much safer than the areas of Somalia that my grandpa lives in. But he's like, it's his home. It's where he like was raised. So while my dad was in Africa, my grandpa decided to come to him in Kenya or Tanzania instead of like my dad going up there to Somalia. Yeah, but like, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, so with Somalia, things are still not looking great. Not looking great. Because I like, so as soon as I found out where like my parents grew up and where my grandpa like lives right now, I like sort of searched up on Google what those areas look like now. It's like there was a before and after pictures. The before pictures look beautiful, but like now it's just like rubble. Just like any like war torn type of country.
It's so crazy to think that there's like the United States, as much as I make fun of it, we are so lucky to not wake up. You see what's going on with Gaza and Israel right now? God damn, son. That is heartbreaking.
So
And they're bombing the fuck out of each other.
The
You
thing
know
that
what I mean?
got to me about that, so you know, I'm a Muslim.
Yes.
So we just finished like fasting last week.
Was it Ramadan?
It was Ramadan. Yeah. So we just finished fasting last week, and like we were in like our last 10 days, which is like the
Explain how long you guys go the whole month, right?
a whole month. Yeah, it's always like 30 days.
Yeah.
But we don't use like the is it the Gregorian calendar? So
there's so many calendars.
our calendar is a bit different. But yeah, we go for a good 30 days. It always moves back 10 days or so every year. But so the last 10 days of like Ramadan are usually like when you have to be like the most on your game about like how you how you are about.
What's the fasting entail? Like you don't eat anything till nighttime?
Yeah, you don't eat or drink from like 30 minutes before the first prayer. So that's when you stop eating. 30 minutes before the first prayer of the day until sundown.
So you don't drink water at all?
No, nothing.
Damn.
Nothing.
I don't know if that's good.
Technically, you aren't even like, even if you like have like spit in your mouth, you spit it out.
Dude, being dehydrated is bad.
Yeah.
I would feel like shit to try that.
When,
Maybe one day.
When I was
I
younger,
do one day.
I think now to me, it more so feels like like when you've had just like a busy day and just haven't had the
Oh
time
yeah.
to eat.
Yep.
So
Yep.
like it feels more
It
like
feels like that for
that.
30 days.
Yeah, so it's like you just been busy all day, and
Oh
then you
boy.
noticed, oh, I gotta eat. so
Oh no,
so then it's
man.
like at nighttime at that point, you just grub. And weird thing is, people think that like you'd eat a lot, but if you don't pace yourself, you get full
Oh yeah, yeah.
really quick. So that was my thing when I was younger. That I like had to learn really quick. I was like, gotta gorge on everything. I'm nonstop. But then like after the first like 4 bites, I'm like, damn, way too quick,
Yeah.
way too quick. But yeah, there's the eating portion, and then there's like like your habits, changing like certain bad habits that you have. So talking negatively about someone without them being there. Like, what is it
So
called?
can you
Back
talk?
talking.
So you can talk negative when they are there? I'm just kidding.
So like, but you'd be honest with them with like how you
Okay,
feel.
so be more like honest. So yeah, well that makes sense. I
Yeah,
mean, you're
so,
trying
like-
to become a better person.
Yeah,
right?
so, like,
don't be
back-
such an asshole.
Back talking is like a no go type of thing, and then there's like, what else? Trying to manipulate people is like a no go also, or it's just like the small things of like just small habits that like so with this month, it's more so trying to like build up more of your good habits and get rid of those like old bad habits. So like by the end of the month, the goal is like, because you've done this for like a good
You're-
30
you're in
days
a
long,
routine.
you're in a routine
Gotcha,
of like
gotcha.
doing these things. So maybe it'd be
Interesting.
easier as soon as like the month is over. But for some people, like as soon as the month is over, they're
Back
like,
to being
nah,
a dick.
yeah,
Fuck that.
back to the old ways.
Back to the old ways. It's easier. Fuck trying to change, man.
Even I've done it. I'm like, nah.
Dude, we've all done it.
Yeah.
I've done it. There's some things where I'm like, yeah, man, I've gone to the gym like for over a year,
Yeah.
and then I'm like, I'm tired of going to the fucking gym.
Yeah. I feel
Or
you.
whatever it is. Like, I'm tired of taking these multivitamins. Like, I'm gonna try something else out. But really, it's good for you.
Yeah, yeah.
Stick with it.
Yeah, it's more of like a habit forming type of thing, more than anything. Just like trying to build character, I guess.
Okay.
And
So you got to do you do the fast. Is there a prayer routine now? Is there three?
so there's
three
always year round. This is like an everyday thing. There's always 5 prayers a day,
5 prayers a day.
but there are added prayers during that month.
Mm-hmm.
So the main 5 prayers are called Fajr, Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib, and Isha.
Damn.
So those are the main 5, and then the extra ones that are added.
Are the extra ones really necessary? Is it kind of like bonus points?
More like bonus points.
Gotcha.
But like
feel
it's
like
like
5
highly recommended,
5 is a
especially
lot.
especially during that month. Yeah, it's like especially if you're like out and about, you just have
Yeah,
to like
you gotta stop.
Stop. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have to carry the little? I don't want to sound disrespectful, but the prayer rug thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you carry
That's
that
exactly
with you?
what we'd call it in
Yeah.
like
Okay.
English.
Okay.
So you don't need like a prayer rug. You just need like a clean cloth to like put your head on.
Gotcha.
So yeah, it doesn't like always. It's recommended for like a prayer rug, but if you don't have one on you, you could use like the cleanest cloth that you have.
Oh, okay.
Just to put
Fair
your head
enough.
on, because like you have to like bow down at some point, and like put your forehead to the floor and such. But yeah, it could just be like a clean cloth that you could put your like head and hands on and such. So yeah.
Now, is there certain times that you have to do it? Because I know over in, where is it over there? That they actually sound off the prayer.
Yeah.
And everyone stops. And,
Yeah.
But here, how do you do? Do you just pick 5 times throughout the day?
No, there are certain times.
There are certain times.
So
Gotcha.
the first one is like super early in the morning, usually around like 4 or 5 a.m.
So
It
early.
it does change though.
Do you even think the Lord's up at that time? Dude, I gotta sleep too, bro.
There are times when like I wake up. Funniest things are like when I'm back home. Um, I'm never up before my dad. So my dad's usually the first one up in the family to like wake every one of us up for like the first prayer of the day, and and he got at me for like not being. He's like, "You're the oldest one. Why wouldn't you be up at this time? You should know that it's always time to like." I never have my alarm on, but I always automatically wake up around that time anyways because my mind has like it's my school schedule, so like waking up around 5 and getting ready and such.
Yeah.
So and that first one is like from that time to before sunlight, and then the second one is noon, around noon, and then the third one is around like the evening time before sundown, and the third one is at sundown, and the last one is usually like an hour and a half or so after sundown.
Mm.
Yeah. So there's always like specific times. I think they used to like do it by like where the sun is at that point.
Well, that makes sense.
When
I feel like that would be the easiest way to
Yeah.
track it. But then again, not everybody's outside, so you can't
Yeah.
really. And then there's clouds
yeah.
or alien spaceships covered in the clouds. You know?
You know, I've seen a lot of like UFO stories come out.
Bro, it's all
these
bullshit.
past couple of years.
Dude, my cousin, who I love and admire for his smartness and brilliance, he knows I don't believe in that shit. But he's not an astrophysicist. He's a physicist.
Yeah.
And he's subcontracted with NASA, and they work on all really neat things.
Yeah.
And so he sent me this thing. He's like, there was a new one that came out where it was the squares.
Yeah.
Or not the squares, the pyramid ones. He's like, dude, this is how. He's like, you want to know the space? The whole thing is bullshit. So he sent me this thing. I forget the term. I think it's like buka or something like that, where you can take a camera and you can turn the lens into that shape, and by doing that, the lens. I can't. Again, this is like.
Does it like make it look?
Yeah, it makes it
smaller?
look distorted,
Yeah.
and it gives it that weird shape, and it makes it look like, because it's not completely focused, so it's doing this in and out kind of focus thing, so it looks like it's bleeping, and it's not.
Damn.
So he sent it to me. I was like, dude, see, this is what. And they're always saying like, oh, this was recorded by, whatever Navy ship. It's always the Navy for some reason. And they got all this high tech. That's another good argument too. It's like, do you got all this technology and you can't zoom in on this son of a bitch? Like, it's always grainy and it's always at night. Or there's some during the day, but they can never like. Oh, we just couldn't focus. We couldn't get it in. But he sent me this video where this dude debunked the fuck out of it. He's like, dude, anybody could do this, and anybody can tape a lens on a camera into that pyramid, and you can just mess with your camera, and you can do it with just about anything.
Yeah.
And it's a night vision camera. So it's all bullshit, man. That shit ain't real.
I guess for me, I'm more like. I can't like completely doubt the fact that like we're not the only like beings.
I do. You want to know why? Because space is too big.
I think because it's so big.
You ever looked at it that way?
We can't. No. I'm not saying I like completely believe in it. I'm just saying that because it's so big that like we have explored little to nothing. Like,
oh yeah, we have. But it's hard for me to get behind that. Like, there's some, maybe there is, but also it's so fucking big that we'll never know.
Yeah,
we will never know.
That I believe. Yeah,
we could barely get to the moon, and supposedly it's right there. And we're trying to go to Mars. Why? What the fuck we gonna do in Mars? I think it's cool that we were able to get something there. Like, that's neat.
Yeah.
But, dude, Nobody's gonna live on Mars. What's
Yeah.
wrong with Earth? Everybody wants to leave Earth.
You
I
know,
like Earth.
the funniest things is
It's
like
good here.
they put they put out movies of like how certain things would go on like different planets and
Yeah.
such, and I'm like, wow, so you guys know things would probably go horribly, and you're like, I think we'll try it out.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Again, these are movies and it's all fake.
True. True.
But there's also some very smart people who look at Mars and be like, okay, there is some sort of kind of gravity there, so you can walk on it. I always debate. I debated that, not debated. I asked my cousin, who's a physicist. I'm like, how come when we go to the moon, there you just don't get out and float off? I thought like, because when you're on the space station, if you let go of the space station, you're done.
Yeah.
But for some reason, when you go on the moon and even the Mars, the rover it doesn't float off.
Because it still has a gravitational pull.
Yeah, there's
doesn't
some
it?
sort of pull on there.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, all right, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I never knew that because you see him bouncing and shit. I'm like, dude, what if he bounces too hard and he again, if we ever win, we don't know if we went to the moon. Just kidding. I'm sure we did, but I'm sure we didn't. Dude, there's so many like theories about clouds not being real.
Clouds?
Mm-hmm. Cloud seeding has been around for decades.
Wait, I don't know that term.
Cloud seeding is where you take an airplane, you go up, and you release something that mixes with something else in the atmosphere, and you create a cloud. And that creates moisture, and that's how you get rain.
From like the engines of planes. Or
Yeah,
something.
they dump something up there. That's why everyone's like, oh, look at the fucking, like the streaks. Again, I'm talking totally wrong here, but cloud seeding has been around for quite some time.
The only thing I remember like hearing about like planes dumping anything is like their oil whenever they like need to do a hard landing or something.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Yeah. Besides that, Haruni has no info on it.
I don't know a lot about it. I just know the term, like, and I know it's been around for quite some time.
Might check
Like,
it out.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's just interesting. The more and more you learn, like, man, what is real?
Yeah.
What is, like, I don't know, is this table real?
I feel you. I have like one of those like one of those moments once a time, like every other month. Like I would wake up in the morning and I just look in the mirror for a good 5-10 minutes and I'm like, damn, I'm really human, aren't I? And I'm just like,
dude, you don't think humans are fake as fuck? Like, look at all the new humans coming out. Like, we're the old humans. Like, we're the old. Like, now you got all these new, younger kid humans who are like super smart and like can figure out computers and shit. I'm like, dude, that's the new model.
evolution doing its thing.
Yeah. Dude, we're the old model. Like, oh, that one was okay, but we can make them like more this way.
Yeah.
Like one way now.
Yeah.
Everyone's glued into their phones. Like,
oh, yeah.
kids don't know. And fair enough, it's evolution. Like, we can't keep holding on to the past and thinking that needs to be the present. But they don't know what, like, a beeper is and shit. You know, they don't know the history of the internet was actually a government project, strictly for the government.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
Damn.
It's
The
made
more
by
you
the
know.
government, dude.
Damn.
Couple dudes. Because I forgot exactly why they wanted to, what they were using it for. And they're like, wow, we can, like, really get a hold of a lot of information and get it out there.
That makes sense.
And it made its way to the public sector.
World Wide Web.
It's a worldwide, we're watching what you're doing.
You know, I've seen like some tech CEOs put like tape over their like laptop's camera.
Dude, it's a waste of time. If they're not listening or watching you through that, they're just using your phone. Like, you can't get away from it. So.
There are times when like there was a buddy of mine who was a mechanical engineer, and he wanted to talk about a project of his final project of his for his major.
Did he put his phone away? And everything?
Yeah. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, oh no, just for safety, like
Bro,
safety
they
measures.
are listening, and if they're not listening, somehow they're watching you. they're watching you what you look up to. For example, I'm at work and I have to look up something. Like I was looking up mattress. I have to buy a new mattress. So I was like, I'm gonna look this up real quick. Didn't even look it up on my phone. I get on my phone, I'm looking through my IG, bam, mattress, purple, nectar.
Yes.
I'm like, the fuck?
Yes. So okay, there was
Dude,
also
it is happening more than people realize.
there was also this one other moment back in Boise. This was the first time I had like a weird moment with it. Back in Boise, my mom and my dad used to take me shopping at the mall like every 3 months or so just to like get some new shoes and such.
Nice.
And
What would you get? What kind of shoe guy are you?
oh, it's Jordans.
You J-Man?
J-Man, bro.
Dude, I don't know anybody who doesn't like Jordans.
I don't get high tops anymore though. Like
Yeah.
I only either like low tops or like just to the medium. And yeah, I've sort of like
I've never gotten high tops.
yeah, I did when I was younger. I did not like them. I don't know what it
Yeah.
was about them. I just not.
It just
not
looks,
for me.
it crunches up your pants. You look
Yeah.
kind of dumb, you know?
Yeah,
But there are some people who look great in it
yeah,
that
for
can
sure.
pull it off. But you got to have like the right skinny ass jeans. Like,
That also
Yeah.
reminds me of like, okay, skinny jeans, wore them once and never again. So it was,
dude, I rocked skinny jeans for so long. Dude.
so my parents had like left Idaho for a couple weeks or so, and it was during the school year. So I stayed with my siblings, and I stayed with my cousins at the time. And I was like, sort of running out of like clothes to wear, and I'm like, you know what? Hey, could I just like borrow one of your pants? Usually, I at that moment I thought he was gonna give me one of his sweats because I was sweats and khaki pants type of guy.
Alright,
Sweat
fair
shorts and khaki pants is
Dude, I like to be comfortable.
yeah.
Hey.
so I thought he was gonna give me one of those, but he's like, you know what? Nah, we're gonna try
It's like,
something
I got a
different.
sexy look for you.
Yeah, he
Try these skinny
gave me
jeans.
these skinny jeans, and from the moment I put them on to the end of the day, I was uncomfortable
Like
though.
my fucking nuts are in my stomach.
This was not okay. So I like went. I honestly like I imagined everyone going, "Wow, does Haruni look stupid?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I agree with you. That's exactly how I look." And that was the like first and only time. I think that was the last time I wore jeans. In total, I was like, nah, that's a no go for me. So even jeans themselves are just like not as comfortable to me as
They aren't, dude. I'm wearing jeans right now, and I'm like, God, dude, this isn't that comfortable.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah, so back to the whole like my parents would take me to the mall to like get some go shoe shopping, and my first year back in Boise, this was like when I had a new phone. Also, it was an iPhone, and I had an LG Optimus back when I lived in Boise. But my first time back in Boise, after coming to school, when I came to visit, I was driving by the mall, and Foot Locker sent me a notification. I didn't have the Foot Locker app. I'd never gone on the website, but they sent me a notification. They're like, "We see that you're nearby," because I'd always gone to Foot Locker when I was younger. It's like, "We see that you're nearby. Want to come in?" I'm like, "Who the hell?"
Fuck is that? What the fuck?
I'm like, I hadn't even told my parents I was back in Boise yet. How did you guys?
I trip out on. That's why I always turn off. Because the app will ask you, "Do you want this app to stay on
Yeah.
and follow you?" It's like, no, no, I don't. You know, dude, our information is fucking.
I do the, like-
There's no privacy anymore.
I do the like allow once thing, and then once I get out of the app,
I allow when in use when I'm involved when I'm physically logged into it.
yeah,
Other than that, I turn it off.
yeah.
But
So like
still,
it
they
asks me
leave it.
every time though.
Yeah.
Whenever I like, maybe I should do that instead.
But they still, dude, I don't know. We're being hacked left and right.
Isn't the NSA like there's an NSA building here in Utah or
Sure there
something?
is. Dude, the FBI buildings here.
I feel like I haven't seen them. Are they the ones in like downtown or something?
Yeah, it's always in the downtown sector.
I think I remember seeing one, but can't
Yeah.
believe.
Dude, it is. Yeah, I think about it all the time because then once that happens more often than I would like, then you start turning into a different person. Like you start liking shit you like. I never. Where did that
Yeah.
come from? And you're
Yeah.
buying things that you're like, I don't even like this stuff.
So
Like we're being rewired constantly.
so last
You know?
week while I was in Boise, my cousin took me to his new pad and really really nice new place. And he's like, "Oh, I just need to get some furniture in here, get some couches in here." So then I was like thinking to myself, you know what? Let me like look. I wanted to look for some couches for him to just so like as a housewarming gift.
Yeah.
And I hadn't searched anything up at that moment. We
Did it actually
plus
furniture show up?
plus that would have been crazy. But so plus we were like speaking in our main language at the time.
Oh, okay. So yeah,
So so like but we did say like the word couch a couple times. But like I came back to Salt Lake and last Saturday was when I got back from Salt Lake. Then I realized, oh, I have to look for like some couches. So like, right before I did that, I went on Instagram, and then it's like a whole line of. I'm like, who are you?
Yeah, couches. You may like this couch. You like this eco-friendly couch.
It showed up as like an ad as I was like scrolling through the people's stories and such. I'm like, how?
Dude, I find myself I'm more and more disconnect from like Instagram.
Yeah.
It's just like, dude, I am tired of looking at dumb shit. Like, what am I looking at? Sometimes I like to. Sometimes I like just to zone out. I'm like, dude, I'm gonna look at some shit that's not gonna get me anywhere in life.
Yeah.
Cause it's fun.
Yeah.
Okay. But the majority, I'm like, I don't even like this shit, you know? And why does it keep popping up?
Yeah.
Dude, it sucks.
It is crazy.
Like, who's ever running the show does not respect anybody. You know?
This guy's just like clicking through on what people might like. He doesn't even look.
Yeah. There's this thing on Netflix. There's a movie, I forget, where there are these algorithms built to keep people invested in the app as long as they can.
Yeah.
So they'll keep introducing new things constantly. And it's traumatizing.
I think sometimes it's like the headlines are always like the confusing part.
Yeah,
that, like,
clickbait and all that.
yeah, people just click just to see
Oh,
if
it
they
gets
read
me
the
all the
right
time.
thing.
So and so is this.
Same.
I'm like, oh shit, no. And then it's something about the Kardashians. I'm like, what? What the fuck? How do they know I like the Kardashians too? I'm a sucker for that show, dude.
Bruh, I've never watched the show, but the funniest character on that show to me is the Scott guy.
Oh, Scott's great.
Hilarious.
Everybody
'Cause,
loves
like,
Scott.
I've seen some like clips of his, and he's like the most honest too.
Yeah, he's the most raw, honest motherfucker on there, dude. And everybody hates him for it. It's like, Scott's such a dick. And then it's like, he's just an honest motherfucker, dude. He don't play.
Oh,
And he's funny, dude.
yeah, bro.
He doesn't give a fuck what anybody thinks. But that's a problem with some folks. I've talked about this quite a bit. Like, those people are like, I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks. And this, I'm like, you kind of should a little. Like, if somebody's saying, like, hey, man, like, that's kind of a bad behavior.
Yeah.
Maybe rethink that. You should probably sit and rethink about it.
Yeah.
Like, you should. The majority of people are wrong. Like, you shouldn't listen to everything that's out there telling you how to live your life and this and that. But there are some really good things out there too.
Yeah.
And I think we forget about that. Like, it's okay to like disagree constantly, and you should live your life how it is. But you also should be acknowledge that like you can't just be an asshole either. You know,
it's crazy that some people think that like sometimes a disagreement is an attack on them.
right? Oh,
I
used to be like that all the time. I was, and I think the majority men, I could speak because we're dudes.
Yeah.
We're very extremely sensitive. Even the toughest motherfuckers I know are just like, man, you say the wrong things to them, they shut down.
Yeah.
Dude. Me too. I'm a sensitive motherfucker. Dude.
When I was younger, I didn't like anyone to give me any like negative, just like anything negative to say about me, even though that some of them were right. I'm like,
Me too. I
nah.
always wanted everybody to like me. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't want to hear anything bad. If I did, I go fix it. When really, like, dude, they're entitled to their opinion
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
You know.
So there was a time like uh, back in Boise when these guys they were pretty cool. I think I'm still pretty cool with them even now whenever I go back to Boise. But at the time they I don't know what I did, but I know it was wrong. But like they called me out on it, and I'm like, nah, I don't think that's it.
Nah,
Nah,
you're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong.
You're for sure in the wrong.
It's just I think it's hard though. It's a natural human thing to be like, no, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
It's like, nah, nobody knows what they're doing. Kind of have like an idea, you know,
Yeah.
kind of, but even like the way you treat people is just an idea,
Yeah.
you know. I think life is fuck, dude. Life is so weird. I do not understand any of it. I don't understand why we're here. I understand how I got here. You know, my parents wanted a kid, and ba-boom, they got one. But what to do with your life and to find meaning and all that, dude, I don't know. I don't know if that's really a real thing. I don't want to sound like super depressing. Or
No,
like,
I think honestly,
but it's really hard to like grasp. Like, what the fuck is anybody supposed to do?
so like
You know?
my thing. It was like so I had like those questions. I think for like what it is that I'm supposed to do, or like how I can help in this world, or like what it is that I could do to make a positive impact. So I like sort of like went through a list of all the things that I could do, and some of them were like super dope things that I could like, I don't know, build something for like the future, or help make something that'll help or help make like some type of medicine, or some type of
Something that just impacts the world.
yeah, something that just impacts the
in
world
a positive way.
and I, even though those things were so positive, I'm like, I'm not sure that like this is exactly what like specifically want to do. So then I just like started contemplating, like during like early high school, to like later on, I sort of just started contemplating on what exactly, like how exactly I could make this positive effect. So then I'm like, oh, then I found out about like my mom's heart condition, and then I found out about my cousin's heart condition, and my uncle's heart condition, like all on my mom's side of the family. So I'm like, why don't I just like start with my community first and then build up from there? So that's when I like decided.
That's a strong word right there. Community.
Yeah.
It's important.
So then that's when I decided I wanted to be a doctor.
Yeah, it's crazy, huh? How like something affects you so much. You're like, all right, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
Mine was kind of similar like yours. I was born into a hospital setting since day one because I had cleft lip and palate.
Yeah.
Dude, I had over 20 something surgeries. So I was in and out of hospital my whole fucking life.
Yeah.
And then it's ironic that now I work
Yeah.
in a hospital setting. It's fascinating what impacts your life that much is usually what you get pushed to.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't, maybe that's everyone's calling in a weird way, like whatever, because there's drug addicts that have come out of it and now are like trying to get other people out of it.
Yeah.
You know, maybe that was just
their
thing. I don't
it's
know.
events you've like gone through, or like experience in your life that
Experiences.
make you. So
But then there's people who never had a fucking bad day or really had to like work hard and they're complete pieces of shit. So I guess maybe I hate to call them like trying experiences, but I don't know what the term is.
I feel like with like, in my opinion, those type of people, it's more so like they've never had something that sort of broke them down to help build them up. So so they never like had to put any effort into things, or like had much stress over like that particular things that would make them like work hard enough or treat people better and such. So they're like, oh, I could do whatever I want whenever I want and such and such. So
Yeah, dude, it's a trip.
yeah,
Dude, life, it's every day I wake up and go, I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to be doing with it. I guess I'm supposed to like go to work,
yeah,
do this, do that. I don't know.
I feel ya.
Maybe,
Hell yeah.
you know?
One of those like like I said before, I have like one of those mornings where I'm like I have like those existential type of questions where I'm just like looking in the mirror and I'm like, why am I here?
Dude,
Am I really who I am?
I think it's important that everybody should look at that daily
Yeah.
because I was always a deep thinker growing up, and I always got shit for it too. Like, dude, what does it matter, And it's like, well, you never like sat back and just. But there's those people who put their whole life into like say faith,
Yeah.
and they don't worry about much. They think like this is the end road, and then there's those other folks like all the philosophers have always like of old have gone stir crazy trying to answer these questions.
Yeah.
And none of us really know still what the end game is. Or, I mean, people got an idea and hopefully that idea works for them. But, when the lights are out, I don't know. Fuck, dude, I don't know.
Endgame.
Yeah. Like, do we keep going on or is this it? Like, dude, I don't know. It pisses me off that we don't know.
It's a question of questions.
Dude, it's the biggest question that has yet to be solved.
Yeah.
But
Wasn't the what was the term, like the Lazarus effect? If like someone comes back after they're dead, do people ever ask them like, what was the other side like?
Yeah.
And they'd be like, nah, I was blank.
yeah, it was blank. I think it starts over. I think because none of us know what we were doing before we were born.
Yeah.
It was just blackout. And I think you go blackout for a while and then all of a sudden fires back up.
Yeah.
And you do something else.
I honestly like have had like that same thought where I'm like,
yeah.
But you like your entire memory is wiped out.
Yeah, you just
It's
start
like,
over.
Yeah. Crazy, bro. Crazy.
Yeah. But I was thinking about this yesterday. So say pass on. Like, okay, my time is done here. And you wake up and you're in the next life and you get to pick and choose who you get to be, how you look, what kind of success you have, like what things you want. Like you get to pick this time and see if that makes you happy. What if it's that way? Because this way, none of us got to pick.
Yeah.
We all just got thrown in and good luck. Good luck, motherfucker. But what if the next life you get to pick? I wonder if that would be satisfying or not.
I feel like I'd honestly choose who I am now with a photographic memory.
Yeah.
I think that's like the only thing I would add on to everything because I don't think I'd like want to start over. If I had the choice of like having what I've already had, with the experiences that I've already had, whether good or bad, and being able to like work through everything and sort of build myself up throughout those experiences, I'd most likely like just go for the exact same me as I am now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. I would like to be me, but also handle stress better.
Yeah.
Depression, I would like that to go away.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
There were a few things that I would definitely delete. Like, nah, that was a bad program. Let's delete that part. We're going to add this. I want to be more shredded.
Yeah.
I'm tired of being so fucking skinny. There would be like minor things, but overall, who I am as a person, I would probably only make it better.
Yeah, same. Because like my thought process now with like, which is sort of like I picked this up from my dad, mostly, but he people in my community haven't ever had anything negative to say about him. But with my mom, it's like so my grandpa from my mom's side was the chief of our community. So like
Ooh.
he helped um get my entire family and community to the U.S. because he was like working hand in hand with the U.S. government when they uh, migrated from Somalia to Kenya to the refugee camps. So he was like helping to set things up and helping to get because I remember I was told recently that like he passed away from a car crash. Like right before because he was about to come with us to the U.S.
Is that true, or was there something else behind it?
so so someone else has this conspiracy
Oh,
that
dude. Someone
that
took him out, huh?
that because he was like so hands on with everything, some people didn't like it, and they're like, nah, that guy needs to go. And he spoke a lot more languages than
How many did he speak?
I think
Do
he
you know?
spoke like 14, 15.
God damn, dude, to have that kind of mind, to remember that?
Yeah.
I could get bits and pieces of other languages, but to know 14,
Yeah, this
to
guy.
go from, okay, it's like,
Yeah.
dude, that's incredible.
So like with my mom and her sisters, like any people in my community would always call her. So my grandpa's name was Mubera Haji.
Uh-huh.
So like whenever like they would say anything negative about my mom and her sisters, it was like the three sisters, but they're more like all over the U.S. and back in Africa and such. But those like main three sisters are always by each other. They would always call them the Mubera Haji girls. Like whenever they did something negative, they're like, oh, those girls.
Okay.
So it was always funny for me to hear. But like with my dad, people like never had anything negative to say to him because he never like spoke negatively about anyone else, or like he never put it out there. I think the only person like he let know of like what he was thinking was basically my mom, and like he mostly kept to himself about like any negative opinions about other people, and so and I think with his like mindset, it was more like I'm not here to judge people.
Yeah.
I
That's a hard thing to
that's
do.
like no place for me to be, no like position for me to be in. I have no place in that, and he like mostly keeps to himself. So I've like tried to like adapt that as much as possible. Where I'm like, you do you.
Yeah. Dude, that's so hard not to be like critical of
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
Dude,
I mean,
it's
he's had
hard.
opinions, but like
Sure.
he's been like he's probably the quietest one other person that I know, but like those two guys, my uncle's the other one from like my mom's side of the family, probably the quietest people I've ever known. But and so my community has like meetings for like, whenever like there are weddings or anything like big happening within the community.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't go to any of them. He's like, nah, because all they do like mostly
bicker.
is bicker in that area. He's like, that's not for me. My mom goes, but
Yeah.
I think because she was the former chief's daughter,
Damn,
like
dude.
she's required to
crazy.
go, but she even tries like not to go because they've invited me a couple times while I've been in college because they're like, "Oh, you're gonna be the future leader of this community." I went once and I'm like, "Yeah, this is a no go for me."
Like, no, I'm not being any kind of leader. Y'all crazy.
I'm like, "Yeah, I'm gonna keep to myself."
Yeah, I'm gonna keep to myself on this one, guys.
Yeah. So like, yeah, I've tried to adapt like that idea of like not being judgmental of
Yeah.
people.
Same
or,
here.
Yeah.
I used to be a mean motherfucker.
Not even.
Oh, dude, I used to be bad. I was critical of a lot of people. My older brother actually called me out on it one time because I was kind of picking on him a little
Yeah.
bit. He's like, dude, why are you so fucking mean to me? I was like, oh, I gotta change. That's all it took.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, stop being so fucking mean to me. I'm like, ooh.
I
And
did
even
use
some friends called me out later on. They're like, yeah, you're kind of a dick sometimes, even to your older brother, who's the nicest person on the planet.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. And I come to realize later that it's just a lot of insecurities,
Yeah.
a lot of, as I matured, I realized what it was.
Yeah.
So I just didn't know at the time,
Yeah.
like what I was dealing with, and all the depression, anxiety issues that goes on, and so yeah, it was been an interesting learning curve.
I think for me, it's been like, I don't know what it is. It's so being the oldest kid in the family, um, growing up, it was weird for me because I'm like, I feel like this isn't like really supposed to be my position here.
Yeah.
I don't
Dude,
belong
I would hate
here.
to be the oldest.
I'm like, I don't belong here.
Yeah.
But I did have moments when like I let my anger get the better of me, and then I like knock on my little siblings. But as I got older, I've like I feel to me now it feels like they respect me a bit more because I don't really yell anymore at all. So like um whenever they like do something, I just like ask them quietly, and
Yeah.
they'd still like get the same effect as like if I were to yell.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it just feels like they respect me a lot more because I don't like go at them every single time. And now whenever there's a problem, this is always funny to me because whenever I always prefer to call my parents instead of them calling me because if they call me, I always know that there's a problem.
Yeah, something's up.
So like I give them a call like every other day or so just to talk to them.
That's good.
And there have been a couple times when my siblings were like misbehaving, and
Were you like, oh yeah, put that motherfucker on?
yeah, my mom would like give me a call, and I'm like, oh, this is a problem.
Yeah.
And it's always this one. It's the third oldest.
There's
There's
5 of you, right?
there's 7 now.
7.
There was just a new one that was like born in January.
Oh
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Dude, your dad's a late bloomer. Huh? Having kids late in life?
Nah, he was young when he first had me.
Well, I mean, like this
Oh,
last
yeah,
one.
yeah.
He's an older guy.
Yeah, they weren't expecting to like have another kid, but here she
They
is.
got one now.
Yeah, she's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
I honestly thought she was like gonna be a crier once I like held her, but she's the chillest kid ever.
Probably because all those genes that are left are all just chill.
Yeah.
They're kind of tired. You know?
Facts.
Facts, dude. And then we're tired, man. We're older. We're tired. This baby's gonna be chill.
Yeah. No hard work. You know what? I think the baby will just crawl to the kitchen and feed itself at this point.
Yeah, she's got it.
She's got it. But yeah, like nowadays, whenever I go home, it feels like more. It feels that I'm like more like a big brother now than I was when I was younger. Because when I was younger, it felt more like I was like a tyrant that I've like my way or the highway. Whenever it was with the younger, whenever my parents weren't around, and I was with the younger kids. Because if they were around and I was with them, it was like their way or the highway. So
Yeah.
but yeah, now that I've like. I don't like hound them on anything. I get calls from them because I've like asked my mom to like have them like give me calls and send me pictures of like how they're doing in school and such.
Crazy how you become the parent. Huh?
Yeah. So
That's good. That's good that they go to you.
Yeah.
That's kind of like passing down of a little bit of respect.
Yeah.
Like they respect you to do that much for them.
yeah. So it's like
pretty cool.
Whatever they like don't understand yet, they'd like give me a call, and whatever
Yeah.
they'd like need with like help with the kids that they can't go through with, they'd like give me a call. So I'm like, yeah, say less. Call me anytime.
Yeah, I had that recently with my dad, where he reached out with me because my younger brother is just fucking a mess.
Yeah.
He just got out of jail. He's issues with heroin. He's homeless. I mean, this has been going on for over a decade.
Damn.
And this last time, like, my dad came to me. He's like, what do you think I should do? I was like, you want my advice? He's like, yeah. You got a good head on your shoulders. You know, you're older now. When I was younger, he's like, I ain't listening to this fucking clown. But he's like, I'm. He didn't say it like this, but the feeling I got, he's kind of outdated with it. He doesn't. These times are not the
Oh,
times he
same.
comes
Yeah.
from. So he's trying to figure out like, well, what do you do with something like this? Because this wasn't an issue for him growing up. So I told him, I was like, look, man, like your ability to want to always help and reach out and try to fix whatever's going on is not only your greatest blessing, but it's also your biggest curse. Like my younger brother knows how to take what he wants from you and then disappear for a while and keep coming back, and you're gonna cave.
Yeah.
So I told him, I was like, you need to learn to say no. That needs to be in your vocabulary. I was like, you can definitely help your son because that's your son, but you need to help him in a different way. He needs to be in a facility where it needs to like run like jail,
Yeah.
but not be jail. Like he needs to be watched. He needs to be told when to get up, when to go to bed, when to eat, when to go to work. He doesn't have the basic common sense of an adult. He's just so fucked up. I was like, do you want to bring that into your house? You and mom are retired. You're in your 60s. He's 33-year-old boy. I'm like, do you want to raise a boy at your age? He's like, no. I was like, then you need to go this route, find him this kind of option. And he fucking stuck to it. He told my brother, like, here's what we got for you. We found you some facilities out here in Utah. But this is as far as we can go. Like, do you want to like turn your life around? And my brother, nope. Just fucking nope.
Damn.
I'm like, dude, you're gonna fucking die, bro. Sooner than you should. You know? I don't get it. I reached out to him. I was like, dude, aren't you tired of getting high all the time? Dude, you've been in and out of jail how many times now? You got no teeth. Your body's all fucked up. He's like, oh man, it's not easy. You can't just quit. I'm like, yeah, you can.
I had a cousin.
Yes, you can, dude. People do it all the time. You know?
I had a cousin with like sort of that same issue. When I was younger, he looked like a healthy athlete when I was younger. But then like I don't know when he started using or like what he's using, but he's using. And whenever I go back to Boise to this day, from like when I was in high school to now, I'd always like see him. Honestly, the first time I saw him doing this, so he'd always like be taking like super long walks from like downtown back up to his house, which is a good like 8 miles or so. And he's always like walking in these like super baggy clothes, like worn down clothes. And the first time I saw him, I'm like, oh no, I don't know that person. Like, cause I slowed the car down because I wanted to see if this person needed a ride. But then my mom was like, no, we probably shouldn't like let strangers into the car. So we got to the house. I think we were going to his family's house at the time. So we got to his house, and we greeted his mom. We sat down for some tea and food for a little bit, and then he comes into the house, and I'm like, "Wow, damn, this is different.
Who's this?
Who's this? Yeah,
That's a different human being, dude.
yeah. Like even his like mannerisms were different also, because like he felt when I was younger, he was like comfortable in his body. Now he's just like all over the place, sort of. So it's like, damn, I didn't realize this was like happening or had happened.
Yeah, it's weird how quick it happens, dude. It's like, whoa, what the fuck?
Yeah,
But to bring it back to like, you know, your parents reaching out to you, like for my dad to reach out to me and actually like take it,
yeah,
I was like, dude, like he's passing down the torch, you know.
respect.
It's kind of cool because me and my dad were kind of like on and off there
Yeah.
for a minute, you know, because I have my opinions about him, and he's always been like, well, whenever you want to come back, you know, let me know. Never was ever like, fuck you, son, like how dare you.
Yeah,
And I respect him for that. It just took me a while to like grow up a little bit and understand where he was coming from and why he did the things he did raising us, and it, you know, it all makes sense now.
yeah,
But it still sucked what we went through, but I mean, that's back then. But it sucks to, the whole seeing a family member turn into something else is, it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
When I see pictures of my younger brother, I'm like, dude, who is that? You know, what happened?
Yeah.
You know? I mean, drugs are fun, but dude, come on, like
I've honestly like
let's tone it down a bit. You know?
so because of that situation with one of my cousins, I've tried to like be a bit stricter around my siblings. 'Cause I'm like, I really don't like want this to happen to any of them.
It's
So I don't
hard.
like say like don't follow these people and such and such and such. But
Yeah.
I do like inform them of like how it affects them and
Yeah.
because we'd like talk about what they want to do in the future,
Mhm.
how they're doing now, what activities they're into. So like I try to like, keep the conversation flowing as much as possible so that we don't like hit a dead end
Yeah.
out of nowhere and things just take a turn for the worse. So
Yeah, I think that was the big issue with my younger brother. And where we grew up, there was just nothing to do.
yeah,
There wasn't a whole lot to keep kids busy out there. Still isn't. And dude, why not? Dude, I'm bored. You know, I'm gonna try this out. And for him, it never stopped.
yeah,
So I think it's super important to keep family, especially young people, just so fucking busy
yeah,
where they don't have time to even
yeah.
think. Like, why am I so busy? Like, don't even let them think that. Just like, hey, we got this, we got this.
Yeah.
Okay. We got. But the
I-
moment they got downtime, I'm kind of bored. I'm gonna go online. What are other people doing? YouTube. What? What drugs are those? Where do I get that? You know,
Oh
it's
yeah.
fucking crazy,
I
bro.
used to do like everything back in high school, and well, now I don't like. Not a student athlete anymore.
Everything meaning like,
With like, I used to play sports. I
okay,
used to
okay.
be in like math, physics, and this other club.
Yeah.
And I just like try to do. I honestly at that time though I was sort of trying to just like build my resume for when I applied to college. So it was like I was just putting everything on my schedule. Um, and then I also had like my Arabic lessons later on at
Crazy,
night
bro.
with my uncle. So it was something else. So I'd
Yeah,
be
you're
like
busy.
come out, leave the house early in the morning for school, and then come back late night because of the lessons. So it was like, damn, I was always out, and I got so used to always being out that like when I came to school here, my first semester of my first year was super relaxed.
Yeah.
Didn't have much. Was just taking gen eds. Had like math class, basic bio class, basic chem class. It was just an
Easy
easygoing
stuff. Yeah.
semester. Yeah.
Easy stuff.
Yeah. So I did go to like a few parties then, just to like, you know,
Well, yeah, you got to
see the
man.
college
You
experience.
You gotta
Yeah.
try it out. Dude, you gotta try it. The college experience is insane.
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately, I didn't go to one of those schools. Mine was very uptight, so I never knew. Like, we're going to a college party.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? I never. I've been to them when I lived down in Fullerton.
Yeah.
With my friend that was going to Cal State Fullerton. Him and I had an apartment, and we went to a couple college parties. I was like, whoa, dude, this is what fucking older people do.
Yeah. There was this one time. I think they were like. I think I went to them because
fun.
I always had like a hilarious experience. By,
Yeah,
like,
there's always some fool who's like, oh my god.
So
Don't be like Tim.
Yeah, there was this one house party that a buddy of mine was throwing, and because I didn't drink, I was sort of just like helping him watch out for things, and still hanging out with people, having a good time, but just like watching out for things, making sure people don't break things, and just keeping things as they should be. And by the end of the night, my buddy realized that his huge flat screen TV had been taken.
Oh,
It
that
was
sucks.
the funniest, saddest thing to me
You guys see
at
my,
that time.
Who the fuck's my TV?
Because I'm like, how in the hell do people just pick up a huge
And no one say
70s?
anything.
No one say anything. Because like we asked everyone at the party, they're like, nah, we ain't seen nothing.
Oh, everybody was in on it, dude.
bro.
Dude,
And
that
I'm like,
sucks.
wow, how does that even happen? And
Man.
I honestly, like, to this day, I still laugh about that moment. And then there was also that same like night, there was also like me and a couple of other people were like hanging out in the backyard, and we were just like chopping it up, talking, and I felt something bit me. It
Uh-huh.
was, I think it was like some type of insect. It wasn't a sting. It may have been a wasp.
Uh,
But I to this day I don't know what it was, because it was like one, two, and then it was gone. I could not find. I like flashed the entire area, and I'm like, wow, cannot find a single thing. I told everyone what had happened, and not a single person believed me until it happened to someone else just a couple minutes later, and then I'm like, yeah.
oh shit! Look out, the wasp.
Should
Waspy the wasp is out.
should have believed me the first time. But yeah, it was always like hilarious experiences that I had, which is like why I went to a few house parties my first semester. But then like after that, it was just like
Busy.
busy. Like
Yeah.
I try to like I feel like I did this like accidentally on purpose.
Yeah.
When like I try to fill my schedule to the brim like as much as possible. When I'm like I don't have the only thing I'm working on is like either schoolwork or focusing on my future with like shadowing or with networking with people,
Yeah.
or doing something that'll like help me further along, like to get into my career. And from like that moment on, I was just like always on the move, always on the move. And I just like I kept getting used to being on the move. And then the pandemic happened, which was the worst possible thing for me, because
I think it was the worst possible thing for
yeah,
everybody.
it was. I was fidgety. I was like, damn, I need to find something to do. I was like making hoops around the house, like just to throw like pieces of paper through. I'm like, cause like my entire day before the pandemic consisted of like going to class in the morning, then volunteering, then work, basically, or like or on weekends, volunteering early in the morning, getting things ready. So like Saturdays before I showed up for my shift, I'd we do this thing back at the U where we take the food from the student life center. Well, what is it called? Is it the student life center where like we get all the restaurants are?
Okay.
So we'd get like repackage all of those foods, and then someone would drive them off to the homeless shelter.
Oh, okay.
So we did that like Fridays and Saturdays, which was actually I enjoyed it mostly because of the company. The work
Yeah.
was oh
Well,
okay.
yeah, it works. Whatever.
Yeah, but yeah, I enjoyed it, and like the people around, and those like almost everyone there were pre-med students, so like
Huh.
we like had a lot to talk about, had like a bunch of like things to share with each other to help each other like getting along with getting going forward.
Yeah.
And it was just a great experience for me, like, and so that also introduced me to like other volunteer opportunities or other shadowing
Nice.
opportunities. It also and it introduced me to that, so because someone in that group talked about like doing an MCAT prep program when we were all like, it was before we were going to take the MCAT, but we were all thinking about it at that time.
Yeah.
So we were having like a whole discussion about it. Then that introduced me on to that Spain trip that I took, because it was an MCAT prep program.
Nice.
And my goodness, I honestly, because something happened like right before I left. I was super excited to leave, but then like the week before I had to leave, my cousin passed away at the hospital, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to go.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember
But
you telling me
yeah,
that. Yeah.
so that happened, and I'm like, but everyone convinced me. They're like, no, I think you need to like get your mind off things for now and just go on this trip, study hard, have a fun trip, travel to different cities while you're there, and just to like sort of help you relax your mind, because it was probably like the most stressful, saddest moment uh, of my life, just because like cousins for us are more, especially like if it's like from sisters,
Uh-huh.
we were like more like siblings, like brothers and sisters,
Yeah.
to each other. So it was like, because we came from from like a different hemisphere to the U.S. Grew up right by each other, give or take 2 years or so, um, and like to that age, and it was just like that bond was just crazy. So I like wasn't sure if I wanted to like leave at all because I'm like I'm not in the right state of mind to like go anywhere. But everybody convinced me that I should go, and I probably one of the best decisions I've ever made to like go on that trip because
Nice.
on on the one hand I was able to like get all this information to and we took some like practice tests for the MCAT to help me in seeing like where I'm at, where I need to improve for for taking the MCAT. And also on the weekends, so that was like everything we did during the weekday. So we like shadowed, uh, and we did like MCAT prep. We had like
way
MCAT,
there.
excuse me, we had like MCAT prep times after shadowing. So like we were busy throughout the week, but then weekdays, like as soon as like 5 p.m. hit on Friday, we were able to do anything we wanted. So we like went to different cities. Well, we were in Spain, excuse me.
Ooh, you got a little acid reflux? What's going on over there?
Just a little. But yeah, we had time to like go to different cities, so I was like able to go. My favorite thing was like we went to the Madrid stadium because I'm a Real Madrid fan, and I was like able to run through the tunnels and up to like an actual player and then, like up to the field. I wasn't able to go onto the actual field because there was a concert that was like they were prepping for at that time. But like I was able to like sit on the bench seats, most comfortable seats I've ever seen in my entire life.
What's up?
But it was just like a dope experience. Saw like all the trophies that they had. Then we went to like Valencia, which is like that nightlife there is crazy. I'm not a club goer at all, but like that place, their club there opened up at 2 a.m. So it was a long walk there. We tried to take a taxi, but like every taxi was busy because it was also like a weekend. So every taxi was busy and would just like pass us right by. So we like kept walking towards the club to see like if we would catch a cab before we got to the club, but no luck there. So we ended up like getting to the club. It was 1:53 a.m. at that point, and we're like, yeah, it's about to close. It was just opening up. I'm like, damn, who are these people?
Crazy people.
Yeah, for real. That was the first time I ever gone to a club. Also,
They're fun, huh?
yeah, they're pretty.
Yeah, I have
pretty
my
cool.
club times.
Pretty cool
time.
indeed. Yeah, so like I had a good time in like Valencia. Then we went to a city called Benidorm, which is the first time I went to a water park. Like I had just like a lot of first experiences that like I don't think I would have like dipped into had I like been here.
Gotcha.
So it was like it was just a dope experience all around, which also like helped me to clear my mind and help me have fun with the situation, is especially with like what had gone on before I left. So it was a great remedy, slight remedy to the event that had occurred. But it was yeah, it was just like one of those experiences that like don't ever regret taking at all.
Yeah.
So
I don't think I've met anybody who regrets like traveling.
yeah.
You know, they're always like, even if it was bad, you know, it was still like, oh, you know, I got to see a part of the world I've never seen before.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a good thing. It keeps you busy. Going back to keeping yourself busy.
I like lost my sunglasses there and I didn't even care. I'm like, say less.
I'll buy some new ones. Dang, that's cool, dude. Well, my guy, we've talked for, I don't know how long, but it was a good one.
For sure.
You got any like positive things to say to the younger folks trying to get through school and all that? Trying to shoot for their dreams? They won't listen to me. I'll be super sad. Don't do it. Fuck that. You'll be in debt forever. Don't do it. Yeah. Dude, McDonald's is paying people to try to get back to work now. You see this shit?
I think they're like raising their thing to like
15 bucks an hour.
I'm like,
dude,
what?
15 bucks an hour at McDonald's? What? And they're trying to give you sign-on bonuses?
Oh my
Dude,
goodness.
people don't want to go back to work.
Damn.
Fuck
I thought
this,
it was.
dude.
I thought people didn't want to go back to work because they weren't like paying
Well,
livable
that's one of the big
wages.
issues is like the minimum wage for these bullshit jobs. It's like, how do you expect people to live anymore? You know,
I,
you need to pay.
I think the worst thing about that is that like the higher ups in the company are just like, nah, I think you could survive off this. There was actually a
Yeah, that's what blows my mind. It's like these big whatever, they have money to shell out.
so
You know,
a couple of years ago there was a meeting in Congress with what was her name? She was like the Secretary of Education, DeVoe, so Betsy DeVoe or something like that. So she was not good for the job.
talking dumb shit like they all do.
She was not good for the job at all. So one of the senators presented these stats of like what a person earns minimum wage and what they have to pay for like their child, for their rent and everything. So like it's basically they're in debt without like taking a loan. They're in debt of like paying through all of these. They're like, how can a person afford all of these things? You say that you pay a livable wage, but how can a person pay for all of these things and not go under?
Right.
While you're giving them this insignificant amount
Yeah.
of money to just be able to survive or like help their child survive. So it was like it was, and the defense on that was just a no go. It was
Yeah. It's so. I think it's a good thing that these people are like, no, I'm not coming back to that job. I'm gonna wait till this all runs out,
yeah.
and then I'll think about it. But to have everyone come back right away, like, oh, now we need you, we're gonna give you this. It's like, well, where was that before? You know, now you care. You know, so it's heartbreaking. I think 15 is still super low. You know, especially with everything constantly going up and up and up and up. It's like, fuck, dude, how do you?
And they're gonna raise it even more because they've raised like the
Yeah.
minimum wage. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's a weird. I hate the inflation thing. Oh, you make more, everything goes up now. It's like we never get ahead. It looks like you're gonna get ahead. You have the smoke and mirrors of it, but you're gonna be poor like you were before. You know, and it's never gonna change.
I feel like that idea is gonna be put up into the government so
It
many
has to.
times, and they're gonna like shut it down every
All the
time.
time.
Every time.
Dude, the
So
government has the biggest bank account and it never runs out. And what makes you think they want to give it back to you? I've become real bitter towards the government within the last 2 years. I never really gave a shit before, but to see like what they're doing and how they're just fucking people over left and right, it's like, dude, come on.
the worst thing that
You guys have the power to do the right thing. You have all the money in the world. This whole like we're in debt nonsense, please. You get money from my check every time, and you don't even work
My
for it.
goodness gracious.
You know what I
yes.
mean? Chris Rock said it best. We're getting jacked. You know, I get jacked every paycheck, and they don't do a fucking thing for me
And
or anybody else.
the things that I found out that like the government like pays for, I'm like, so that's what like my taxes are paying for. I'm
Yeah.
like, what? Instead of like putting resources into
Education is the biggest problem.
oh my.
Why are we still struggling to pay these teachers a decent wage?
People
It
that are
blows
like
my mind.
I feel like anyone that's helping the future to to move forward
To
should
be
be
better.
paid.
Yeah.
Yes.
Should be paid well.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. Oh, I always think about whenever I like think of teachers and pay. Have you ever seen that Key and Peele skit when like they have like a draft type of thing for like teachers?
I bet it's funny
So-
though.
so-
I'll check it out.
So like they have a draft of like the best teachers, and the number one pick goes and like has like a $20 million like first year or first year sign in,
Oh my God.
and like a teacher that's been like named the best for the past 10 years and has been like all his students have been just been like killing it, gets like $140 million contract or something like actual athletes. It was honestly, it made me think like, how is this not a thing?
Yeah. I think what should be changed in taxes. Obviously, we need to pay for military. I think that's a huge one
Yeah.
for them. That's a given. But I think they should let people sooner or later choose where do you want your taxes to go.
Yeah.
You know, for me, I would. There's so many programs that I would, especially Operation Smile would be my number one thing to help cleft lip.
Yeah.
Like they should give people the ability. I think politicians should no longer get paid what they're getting paid, because that job right there, these guys are like rock stars, dude. They're making thousands, hundred thousands. That job should be because you want to be in politics.
Yeah.
Most of it's just a money game. And they shouldn't be getting paid when they're retired. Fuck no. You don't keep getting paid the same and your health care gets taken care of. No. We don't even get that. You know? Like, what makes you so special? You did some bullshit there for a couple years and sat on your ass.
Working for Pepsi.
Yeah, work for Pepsi, making sure Pepsi fucking gets through and then breaks all these laws and Coke. You know, it has to change sooner or later. Like we're holding on to this old constitution that makes no fucking sense whatsoever. That needs to be redone. It's old. And we're holding on to dumb shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Facts.
It doesn't work. And like the equality thing is I didn't know how bad it was because I keep seeing it more and more. Like black communities are upset. Like they want is it retribution for like this certain things?
Yeah. For it was a. I know what you're talking about. It
Yeah.
does over there.
I'm like, why is this community still upset? So I go deeper, because I'm like, here I'll admit it. I'm like, why is this group upset? You know, they're getting things are changing when really they're not. And they start looking like at infrastructure is the big thing that really no one understands, but there's a lot of infrastructure that there's bridges built back in the old times. So buses couldn't go to black communities, and the black community couldn't come out of that community to get jobs, to get ahead, because there was no means of transportation. So the bridges were built at a certain length so shit couldn't get in there.
They even had like
they would split, they would put a highway in the middle of sectors of homes to split the white and the black. I'm like, holy fuck.
Have you ever heard like
I had no idea.
of a thing called Black Wall Street? I can't remember where it was, but it was an area where the black community thrived economically like crazy, and it was just destroyed by the KKK, if I remember, and nobody like decided to give a helping hand to help rebuild that community. And it feels like every time like we take one step forward, we get pulled back like three steps back, and it's like,
It's frustrating.
¿Qué puedes hacer?
Dude, the more and more I look at it, the more and more I'm like, God, what the fuck did we do? You know? It has no issues. For me, it's not about like you being black or white or whatever. It's like, dude, our past really is fucking haunting us.
Yeah.
Like, of course this community's upset. Look what you fucking did. You know? And they're still trying to be polite about it. I'm surprised they're like, you know what? Fuck you guys. You know?
One thing I've heard, it's like the one argument I've heard is always like, oh, it was such a long time ago, but it was like such a build up to different events of a long time ago that it still like matters to this.
It wasn't that long ago. You know?
Forever.
And the thing is, I think this is just my personal take. I don't think we should keep bringing up like, well, during the slave times, I was like, I don't know anybody that owns a slave. I'm sure you don't know anybody that. I think what we need to start saying is, look, we fucked up. We did some bad shit. Let's fix it. Okay, we need to stop thinking like white's better than black and or white's better than everything. Like, let's stop saying that shit because it's done. And let's focus on something new. And it's the same with the Constitution. We need to stop thinking like that makes sense. And we need to move forward here. I think Morgan Freeman said it at one point. They're like, well, what do you think about like slavery and everything? He's like, we need to stop talking about it. Like, we need to not stop talking about it, but we need to stop bringing it up so much, thinking like we're all still slaves. Because I don't know anybody, like I said, who owns slaves. Now we're all slaves. In a weird way, like the government tells us, hey, if you're vaccinated, you can you can sit over here, but if you're not, you have to sit over there. Like, we're doing it in a new way now, which is really depressing.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's going to be like, oh, vaccination people, you can use that water fountain, but non-vaccination, you're going to have to go down there and use that water fountain. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Now we're all in it.
Yeah.
It sucks, dude.
All for one and one for all.
It's turning into this weird, like, it's no longer like, oh, it's a black thing. It's like, it's everybody. Oh, you're not vaccinated? Oh, wow, I can't talk to you. You know?
Oh,
you're not wearing your mask.
I remember having those conversations
Dude.
also.
Don't get me wrong. The whole, like, segregation thing, it's bad. And we need to learn from it, you know, but we can't keep acting like, you know, we're still doing it like that. I don't know. Am I making sense?
Yeah,
or does it sound like I'm just being a white privileged asshole?
Nah,
I'm trying to make sense of it too.
It's,
you know,
it's making sense, but I will add that, like, systemically, there are just like certain things that are set to, like,
true,
still
set up for failure.
Set you up for failure. Yeah. Or like it's 10 times more difficult for a certain community to like get to a certain position.
True.
So there like just are like things still set in there, but I for sure see what you're understanding, that we have to like see forward and not keep looking back.
Yeah, I mean, it's fucked up. You have to learn from it, but I don't think we have to keep acting like it's still like that.
Yeah,
it's getting better, just not as fast as it should be.
Yeah,
but like you said, systemically there are some like fucked up shit still set in place where it's like, oof, you know, just because you're a person of different color or race or background, you can't even like get a school loan, or a home loan.
Yeah,
there was a thing on the news where a black lady individual was getting her house appraised by a white guy, and they shot it way down, like the value of the home. So she had her white friend come over. She's like, I just want to see.
I remember seeing
and
that.
The white guy came, a different guy came over and gave her like this high fucking, your house is worth so much more. And the lady's like, you see the fucking problem? I'm like, fuck, dude. How do you fix it though? My big question is, okay, I hope we get to a common ground. Like everybody gets fair share.
Yeah.
But what does that look like? Like, what's the end goal? If there is even one,
Time will tell. Time will tell.
True. I just don't know what it looks like to be like, okay, everyone is satisfied now. Like,
I don't think we're ever actually like truly gonna have that moment where like there's always gonna be like
that asshole like Grandpa Trump
where they
firing
feel like
up all those bad people, you know.
the one example I could think of is like when people bring up Mexican people, they're like, oh, they're coming over from the border and taking all our jobs, and then they call them lazy because they're working.
Yeah.
And
you see
these
all
people
that fucking vegetation in the grocery store, somebody had to pick that.
Yeah. So like, and these same people don't want to do that job. So it's like, why are you complaining about the job that you don't want to do, that this other person decided to do? instead of you. So it's like, what?
Yeah. That whole thing too bothers me. It's like they're these other countries are such in bad shape that these people are willing to send their kids by themselves to try to get here, which I think is fucked up on the parents' part,
Yeah.
not the U.S. part, trying to give them some sort of shelter. And unfortunately, it looks like a dog cage,
Yeah.
but it's more than what they had. But the parents should be held accountable. Like,
Yeah.
don't send your fucking
Oh,
kid
for
like
sure.
that. What are you doing?
Some families were separated. Like when we were,
Yeah, and
when we
that's
were,
true too.
so when we were in the camps, my
You
grandpa,
came from that kind of.
yeah. So like my grandpa made sure that like each family was like on his side, like or his community, since he was the chief basically, that each family was accounted for and each
Yeah.
person had like um had like every family member coming with them, because separation is has a huge negative impact
For sure.
on like any one person in the family, either the people that have come to the U.S. Because I have an aunt that um, whose mom is still back in Africa because his dad got remarried. So her mom is still in Africa, and she has a baby sister in Africa also, or like a little sister. I think she's like one of my siblings' age, but she has a little sister that still lives back in Africa, and it's like she misses them. It's like, what can you do? There's so much to go, so many hoops to go through to try and bring them over. And since like the paperwork says that her and her father, her mother and her father were no longer married, he only brought like his kids at the time, because she was pregnant when he left Africa, and couldn't bring her along. At least like there was some problem with the paperwork about like bringing another person along that wasn't technically married to, or like plus we didn't really like have paperwork, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah. Well, that brings up the other issue. Is like, okay, a lot of people want to come over, and a lot of people do want to put in and be a citizen, but it's so fucking difficult, and it costs so much money.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Dude, it's becoming a business, like American likes to do. It's like, well, let's make it a little bit easier for them to get citizenship, and let them pay in and let them be a part of whatever we got going on, instead of making it so difficult. And then everybody gets upset. Oh, they're good. It's like, motherfucker, they're trying to make a best of their life just like you are.
Yeah. And
so what? They get some free shit. You know what? We have to pay for it. Consider that your donation to humanity. Sorry. You know?
And
I gotta pay too.
The one thing that like that they do, even like the organizations that bring us over, they have a really bad habit of this. My parents, like my community doesn't trust outsiders, first and
Fair
foremost.
enough.
But they had this really bad habit of like trying to like Americanize us as soon as we got there.
Yeah, I never understood, like, you gotta be Americanized. Or when they'd say, oh, that black guy, he acts white. What the fuck?
So it's like sort
Doesn't
of
make any sense.
I don't know what
Why
it
the
is.
fuck would you say that?
So I think it's like culture wise. So it's like they try to get them out of the environment, their like mental environment that they've been in. They're like, oh, you don't need like to wear this, this, and that. You could have all of these. My parents are like, yeah, that's a no go. You gotta go. Yeah. Then we had they were I guess they were called volunteers, or agents. I can't remember what.
I think they do it like that just because that's all they know.
Yeah.
And they don't know your heritage. And
I feel like they just should have been like trained a bit better, especially like with the communities.
Yeah, at
that
least
were
have
coming
some
through.
basic knowledge.
Yeah.
Like, hey, this is their environment. This is what.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure they were given like a generic type of description about like my community. They're like, oh, these people are like come from a harsh environment, so they must be harsh people or such and such, or like these people are just super, super poor and don't know how to do things at all, so they need a hand at 24/7.
Right.
But we had ours. Some people have had theirs for years, and to this day, would still have their contacts. We had hours for like a good week. My parents were like, my dad asked like how he asked the translator to translate to the person, like with applying to jobs and getting the green cards and getting the paperwork and such. As soon as like they figured all that out, he's like, deuces, you gotta go, no more coming through. And yeah, I think I honestly applaud them for that, because I feel like I would have turned out a bit snobbier I had that those people like I'm not knocking them at all, but
No, for sure. They were just trying.
they were just
doing their best.
doing their best,
Yeah,
yeah. But it was just like they were like over giving, you know, when you just when you unnecessarily feel like someone needs something that they don't need. So they were just like bringing things in.
Guilty.
Yeah. So so my parents are like, no, we don't need all of these. All we need is like for you to let us know how we're supposed to get to and from this place, apply for this thing, and such and such and such. So from then on, we had just this one person who was a translator. She spoke Swahili. Her name was Eustace, I think.
Eustace.
If I remember correctly, it's been ages since I've seen her. But we had her, and she like because she wasn't from our community, she barely came to the place. But like we give my parents would like get. My parents
Ooh.
would, excuse me.
Dude, there's some water right there, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Wet your palate.
But my parents would like give her a call whenever like they didn't understand something, or when they just needed clarification on how to do something. So yeah, they tried to keep things, or at least like they try to keep the family like mentally like with like in the same mental state of like we are still a part of this culture. You're not like being separated from where you came from. We want to know we want you to know like who you are, where you came from, and like from then on, you know.
Yeah.
So it was.
I think that's one of America's biggest downfall. Is like we got Americanized. You know, we're still having this weird like we got colonized, Americanized.
Oh yeah.
It's like
I honestly
no, we don't.
Even when I was younger, I'm like, nah, I don't think like my thing is working. So I like try to act like all the other kids in my class. So I was like trying to pick up their mannerisms, and my parents were not having it at the house. They're like, nah, shut that shit down.
You ain't
ASAP.
You ain't like that.
Yeah,
we didn't raise you like that.
English was not to be spoken in the house.
I think that's cool, man.
At all.
I wish I knew another language.
Say less, I got you.
Dude, you know how long it takes to like, learn another language?
I thought I was getting Spanish, but
Spanish is fucking hard, bro.
Not even.
Like that one, I don't know. That one's kind of hard for me.
I think the funniest thing is back at the hospital. Remember Juan and Martine?
Yeah, I remember those two.
So those guys, as soon as they found out that I took high school Spanish, anytime they'd like see me, it was like and Juan was worse on this because Martine like took his time with talking, even like regularly to Juan, but Juan would just like. He was speeding along through everything. I'm like, yo, slow your roll. I do not know. So most of the times I would just like respond in English because I didn't know what he's saying. And there'd be like generic answers like, nah, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, nah.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, learning a language, unless you live there and you're involved with it every day, it's kind of hard.
Yeah, I think the toughest language that I had to learn was probably Somali, because
I don't even know what that sounds like.
it has like that Arabic type of style.
Has that like to it, like a
yeah.
I'm not trying to
the
sound,
KH.
Yeah,
the
I'm not
KH
trying to sound
sound.
rude or anything, but you know, trying to give people like an idea.
Khaled, yalla.
Yeah. That.
Yeah, that is hilarious.
So Swahili has that kind of beat to it.
Swahili is more like mellow.
Oh no, I'm sorry, Somalia.
Somali has like that same type of like tone to it. and we were around a lot of Somalians, but we rarely spoke it, and I understood it, but
Yeah.
I rarely responded um, to people in Somali. So like it took me longer than most to.
Was that place that you took me to eat? Was that Somalian food?
That was Somali, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. When I walked in, I was like, oh, I feel fucking out of place in here.
Yo, I'll be honest with you, every white
Food was
person,
bomb, but
yeah, every white person that I took there was like, yeah, I'm uncomfortable.
I wasn't uncomfortable. I was like, oh, I hope they don't think I'm like a dumbass white boy. Like, you know what I mean? I was more like, I hope they think it's cool that I'm in here.
Yeah,
Not,
I think
you know?
since the guy knows me,
Yeah.
we
And
didn't
not
like
being
grow up
just
with each
some
other or anything.
like
but
rude dude walking in on,
yeah,
like, you know what I mean?
yeah,
It was more like that for me.
yeah. I think it was more so like since the guy like knew me, he's like, yeah, welcome in,
Yeah.
and he was like more pleased that I just brought him another customer.
Yeah. The food was good though,
Yeah.
man.
Whenever
Oh,
I
yeah.
feel like nostalgic of, because I can't cook Somali food. I could cook like mean Italian food, anything that Google gives me, except my people's food. Like I'm trash. Tried making
I
rice
can't
one
cook
time.
anything, so it's all good. I'm white. I don't know how to cook.
Either. I sort of like forced myself after I moved off campus because I'm like I kind of don't want to like eat out
Yeah, eating
anymore.
fucking fast food.
Yeah,
Eating out every day is like
I gained weight like crazy because like that first couple of months of when I moved off campus, I was just eating out, and I'm like, yeah, I'm tired of this. So then I just started cooking, and I'm like, yeah, not too bad. First few times didn't go as planned, but not too bad at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, then I just like started picking up that habit where I'm like, even when I don't feel like it, I would like whenever I'm making a big meal, I sort of make myself a snack like a turkey sandwich or something on the side, just while I'm waiting, just so that like I have something in my stomach while I'm
Yeah,
waiting.
while you're eating,
Yeah.
while you're ready to cook.
Yeah. So it was like it was more so like I just started growing into that habit more than anything. So it was
It's a good habit.
yeah.
Well, man, we went on another extra round there. But hey, it was, dude, always great talking with you.
Likewise.
It's good catching
Likewise.
up. It took us a minute to get together,
Yeah,
but
for sure.
but man, oh, dude, anytime you need anything, please let me know.
Say less.
You know,
Say less.
oh,
Likewise.
dude. If you want to be the oncoming guy every month, dude, catch up. You're a fascinating, very people can learn from you, man.
I don't know.
Dude, you've been from probably the toughest portion in the world. Come from nothing. I wouldn't say nothing, but as an American, we
Yeah.
think it's nothing. But you come from a hard place.
Yeah.
And now look at you now, dude. You're headed into med school, and fuck, dude. You know,
Oh,
you inspire a lazy ass America to get back to work.
how the turns of tables.
You know, it should be admired, and I hope people take notice. Like, dude, there's a lot of hardworking people here that again come from not here that are trying to make a better place and
Yeah.
make the world a better place.
Yeah.
So I appreciate it, man.
Likewise, I appreciate for you
Yeah.
having me here.
Dude, anytime. Man. I always
Say
love
less.
talking to you. So, all right, folks. Appreciate you listening. Leave a comment. Follow the channel. Whoever leaves a comment first, I will send you some herb merch.
Hey.
So, and you need to be a new subscriber as well. If you're a new subscriber, I'll send you herb merch. I'm just trying to pump up this channel so more people can hear it. Not for ego shit. Not for my ego. I just want this shit to get out there more.
It's for the mind and heart.
Yeah. So, yes. Thank you for listening. Take care of yourself. Take care of others. And we'll talk to you on the next one. How should I sign off on this one? I'm trying to change it up. Thanks for listening.
Thanks
Here,
for listening.
you finish it. You finish it.
We appreciate you. we appreciate you all coming on here to listen to us, watch us, and see you on the next one.
All right. Sweet.